Good day, mates. I'm here to talk about my favorite dinosaur. What do you think it is? It's got big teeth and big mouth and big legs. What is it? The T-Rex. That's right. He's got big, strong stuff, but he's also got little wimpy arms, doesn't he? Wimpy arms, wimpy arms. But you know what I like about him? They found blood cells in his leg bone. That's right. It's just shocking to people because blood cells cannot last millions of years. And don't take my word for it. Take the word for the person that found it.
Is that amazing to find this kind of soft tissue in a fossil this old? And what can the soft tissue really tell us?
Well, it's very amazing. It's utterly shocking, actually, because it flies in the face of everything that we understand about how tissues and cells degrade. It's not something that any one of us could ever predict or hope for.
Yeah, they're just shocked that they find bone cells in a dinosaur bone. And she saw the blood cells and she couldn't believe it. She said, "Crime, there's blood cells that shouldn't be here." So she did it again and again and again. 17 times she did the same thing and saw blood cells. And then she told her boss, she said, "Hey, Jack Horner, I found blood cells." And what did Jack say? Did he say, "Attaboy," or "Attagirl, Mary? You know, you've done something nobody's ever done in the history of the world"? Did he say that? No, he said, "Can you prove they're not red blood cells?" It's like, why would he say that? Okay, boys and girls, this is why. The sooner they figure this out, the better. There's a bunch of people that believe in the beginning God created everything, and there's a bunch of people that don't believe in God. So how are they going to explain things? Well, it's kind of like a fairy tale. It goes like, once upon a time, nothing exploded and turned into people. Now, I don't have enough faith to believe that one, but that's where Jack is. And now when you hear this sort of thing, they use code words to make you believe it. Oh, do you remember your baloney detector from last year? Baloney detector? You remember that? When you hear millions of years or billions of years, you go, bah, right? Let's try it once. Millions of years? Really loud. Billions of years? That's right, that's right. And now you get to test it on this next interview. Be ready right away. Okay, let's listen to this.
Is the fact that this stuff was fossilized as it was 70 million years old?
Not at all. No. It was utterly shocking.
So you have to sort of rewrite the book as far as fossilization goes, I assume.
Well, that's the exciting part for me. I've always been very intrigued by how things change in going from a living being to part of the rock record. And like I said, a lot of our science doesn't allow for this. All of the chemistry and all of the molecular breakdown experiments that we've done don't allow for this. So if this material turns out to be actual remnants of the dinosaur, then yes, I think we will have to do some certainly rethinking of some of the basics of the model of fossilization.
You know, well, Mary, when I was reading about this story, I was amazed that in some of the capillaries, when you went to pull them, they snapped right back. Are you amazed at the quality of these remains?
Absolutely.
70 million years old, huh?
It's just doesn't seem possible.
Oh, but she says 70 million years. Bah, that's not right. Not right at all. Yeah, and so, boys and girls, you know more than most PhD scientists out there. Because Bob Enyart went on a cruise with all these smart people and he'd talk about dinosaur blood and dinosaur bones, and they'd never heard of it. But you've heard of it. Yeah. And then Bob, he called up Jack, that's Mary's boss, and he said, "I'll give you $20,000 if you carbon date that bone." And Jack says, "Well, we wouldn't expect to find carbon in here because there's such an old bone." And Bob says, "Well, yeah, but we wouldn't expect to find blood cells either, would we?" And Jack says, "Well, you know what?" He kind of hems and haws. He says, "That's not going to help." My question is, help what, Jack? Science, which is observing and testing, or evolution? And boys and girls, you're going to see this chart sometime. Somebody's going to try and teach you that people came from apes. When you ever see this, it's so important to ask this question. Not only for you, but for everybody in the class. You ask, how did life begin? Ask. How did life begin? Ask it one more time. That's right. They don't know. They don't know how life began. And they'll try and fib you. They'll say, well, yeah, scientists have proved it. No, they haven't. That's a bluff. There's $10 million on the table if you can prove how life began. You don't even have to prove it. Just prove how the DNA got together by itself. They can't do it. So if they don't know how life began, how do they know life that God didn't do it? All right, and that brings me to Mark 10:6. What's my favorite verse? Mark 10:6, but from the beginning of the creation, this is Jesus talking. Jesus is a creationist. He says, well, from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. The beginning, not millions or billions of years later. So this is where you use your baloney detector. And also he made a male and female. That's boy and girl. So if you're a boy, every cell in your body says you're a boy. And if you're a girl, every cell in your body says you're a girl. But if somebody tries to say, if somebody tries to say girls can be boys and boys can be girls, what did your baloney do? That's right, that's baloney with a capital B. All right, enjoy the evening.